Welcome to another wonderful edition of Walking with J-Bo. We are doing a woods walk gun talk. I forget which number this is, but it will be in the title and the description. It could be 38, 39, could be number 40. There's been quite a few, and we haven't done one for a little while. As you can see, we have snow on the ground. Maine is beautiful with the snow on the ground. And we have a lot of deer track through here, as you can see. So I'm going to head on up this way. So I hope everybody is having a great time in your life. I hope you had a good Christmas. I hope you had a good New Year's. I hope everything is nice. Now right here we get somebody that was dragging ski poles. So there are a lot of people that come snowshoeing through here with ski poles. I'm not snowshoeing, I am shoe-shoeing. I'm snow booting. Now today, we've gotten a reprieve from the cold weather. It's in the mid-40s today. So I'm like, well, this would be a good day to do a woods walk. So that's what I'm doing. We had a few days where the high temperature was very cold. We had one day with 30-mile-an-hour winds, and it was cold. And with the wind chill factor, it was 0 degrees for a high temperature. And things are moderating more, and now we're warmer than normal. And later today, we're going to get rain, and we're going to get rain tomorrow. It's actually going to be in the low 50s tomorrow for parts of Maine. Very unusual for this time of year. But last year we had that as well, but we had very bad storms, which caused most of these trees you see that have fallen over. Most of that damage was done last year. The couple of storms we had, even though this tree here was here before last year. I do like when there's snow on the ground, because you can see all the little critter footprints, and you can also see the dust from woodpeckers that have been pecking away. A lot of times you will see deer urine and different animal tracks. That's always nice to see. So I'm going to walk for a few miles today through the woods and trails. And again, I hope you had a beautiful Christmas. We've got New Year's coming up. And I want to remind people that President Trump is going to be sworn in 3 weeks. 3 damn weeks. Can you stand it? We're 3 weeks away from history. So, as far as firearms go, since this is a woods walk, a gun talk video, where I talk about politics and firearms, and oftentimes they are intertwined, that we have the Panzer Arms lever action shotgun, which now there is a video review on the channel for, as well as a shooting clip, which was done in very, very harsh cold weather with high winds. So there's a lot of wind noise on the camera, even though I have the wind noise setting set to cancel wind noise. It was that windy. So that is available to check out if you want to, as we look at this frozen little body of water with critter tracks going across the top. And we got some more deer track here. How do I know they're deer track and not dog track? Well, dog tracks usually will have human accompaniment with them, and these do not. And deer go all through here, mostly at night. And like right here, you can tell that is a deer, because you can tell it's a cloven hoof. So this right here is not a deer, so it's either a cat or something. What I mean by a cat is it could be anything from a house cat to, as we see some little squirrel prints right here, to bobcats. Maine does have bobcats. Northern Maine does have a cougar once in a while. I have not really seen too many in photographs, but they are purported to exist. We also do have some wolves, mostly coyotes, in Maine. So we're just going to take a walk about and snoop what's going on. It's 44 degrees. I have a long sleeve shirt with a t-shirt over it, and I have my ultra thick padded hoodie. And right here you can see a whole bunch of acorn remnants. So there's plenty of food that deer still have available to eat. And just walk around, squirrels too, and dig around, and they dig up nuts. So we'll walk on up through this way. I am going to do the selfie view today, so no worries about that, if that's something you enjoy. I'll probably flip that around right about now. Hi everybody, it's your neighborhood friendly J-Bo. I always want to be a friendly J-Bo. So, the Panzer Arms lever action shotgun is an EG220. The video is available on the channel now. We had a lot of fun with it. It was a little stiff out of the box, but I have mentioned before that, you know, often that is a good thing, because you don't want to have a firearm where all the components run loosely brand new, because after you put like 1,000 rounds through it, it's going to all be all sloppy. So you want some kind of in between. And this was pretty stiff. After about 100 rounds, it loosened up quite a bit. Ran nicely. It only had an issue a couple of times. It was the little mag tube retainer that's in there when you stuff around in the shotgun, like a Remington 870 style, and then you rack it around. Is supposed to let go for the magazine into the carriage and get lifted up by the lifter, and the round wasn't popping out. The little mechanism was sticking, but that loosened up and then it was fine. So $350 shotgun, beautiful walnut stock and forend, removable chokes, seemed to be a very good quality. It felt good in your hand, fitment was good. It's a good buy. Let's face it, a lot of firearms being made in Turkey are very good. So, I'm getting the sweat going now. It's not going to take much to sweat today. So, we're out here in beautiful Maine, enjoying the scenery. Hope you're having a beautiful holiday season. And Turkish firearms are very good. Now, I don't know if you agree with the politics of Turkey. I'm not really going to get into all of that. Whether or not they are friends or enemies or whatever. But I have a Canik, or a Canik. It's supposed to be pronounced Chanik, but the rep from the company says the American pronunciation of Canik is acceptable. Anyway, TP9 SA. It's a 2015 model. I have shot the living hell out of it, and it performs. I got plenty of videos on the channel for it. Probably my favorite pistol to shoot, if you really want to know the truth. So, fits my hand well, shoots well, very accurate and very reliable, made with good materials. The barrel on that should last 50,000 rounds, purportedly. So, all is right with the world. They're selling the SA and the SF. The SF stands for Special Forces, I believe. And there's not the SFX, but the FX. TP9 FX. You can get it in case, 2 magazines, high quality firearm, $299 now, brand new. Can't beat that with a stick. So, this is a steep hill. This one really gets my blood flowing early, but it's good because it ends up setting the tone for the whole walk. So I don't have to watch so much for ice today. Going up this hill when it's a trail that's packed down with ice, it's pretty terrible, but everything's pretty soft today because of the warmer temps. So hopefully I won't fall and break my neck. So I'm going to take a second to talk about MAGA, Elon Musk, and Vivek Ramaswamy. There seems to be a big controversy that you probably heard on CNN or some other media outlet that desperately wants to separate Elon Musk from Trump. So they're running that propaganda this week. But the controversy is about H-1B temporary work visas, usually issued to foreigners who have a high skill set. They have something to offer the United States without becoming a citizen. So we get somebody walking here. I'll wait till they go by. So, he's talking to somebody on his Bluetooth about working overtime, or paying somebody to work overtime. Anyway, H-1B temporary work visa for foreigners. MAGA is very upset with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy because Elon Musk came to America with an H-1B temporary work visa and started making his companies here and making a lot of money for the United States, jobs, and all kinds of stuff. The rest is history. Vivek Ramaswamy is an American citizen, but he's also in big tech. So, he's also Indian heritage. He's an American. So what happened? Well, Elon Musk made a comment. Who the hell's a killer? Made a comment about immigration. Now, we all know why Trump won the election. One of the reasons was the immigration problem. And all Elon Musk was saying, I don't remember his exact quote, but basically he was saying that America needs talent. We need talented people. And he was very honest about it, saying that most Americans do not have this talent because they grew up lackadaisical and kind of lazy intellectually. Well, MAGA took big offense to that. They took it as a personal insult. When factually speaking, and you've heard me talk about it on my walks plenty of times, that a lot of companies leave to go overseas, usually for tax purposes, but another reason is talent pool. When you have to have people come to the United States to work for your company that are from India, even China, Japan, wherever, and they have a high skill set in the tech industry, you want them to come work in a company in the United States. Well, MAGA seems to want all illegals to not have any upper hand here at all. And they want everybody deported without realizing that, and I'll throw this in there, as Trump has said on many, many rallies, many of them. So it's like these people didn't watch any rallies or they forgot already. Trump said, we need people to come here to work. We need the high-tech skilled people, and we need people to work out in the fields. That's just a fact. Americans aren't going to go out in 100-degree weather picking vegetables and whatever else. They're just not, okay? So that is what Elon was saying. MAGA seems to be very insulted with that, thinking that Elon is calling MAGA idiots that don't want to work. And a lot of that was instigated by Laura Loomer, who visits Mar-a-Lago and has Trump's ear. So, Trump yesterday finally said that he supports H-1B temporary work visas. Because you have to have those. But Elon Musk has also been clear in the past, and people seem to have forgotten, that he agrees that the system is broken and H-1B visas need to be fixed. People didn't want to hear that. Vivek Ramaswamy agreed with what Elon said, and then it turned into a bunch of MAGA people on the far right who are racist, making comments about foreigners wanting all immigrants removed from America because they're taking jobs from whites. So, where do we go with a conversation like that? Where? So, Is there really a faction of the Republican Party that are racist? Kind of looks that way. Do they represent all Republicans or the majority? Absolutely not. But even the far left has their lunatics who want people to be able to marry their dogs and change the sex of their dog to female human because they say so. So you get lunatics on both sides. And I've always been kind of a moderate Republican that leans right. I guess this issue might be an example. Many call me a conservative. They can call me that if they want to. As we look at this statue here, fireplace, I mean. I think we'll go down the green trail today. I was going to go down by the frog pond. We'll catch that sometime on the way back. So it is a nice day today. That is the talking points in the MAGA world today, of which I belong to. So I'm exposed to the whole argument, and I'm just going to sum it up this way. Do you remember 2 months before the election, Marjorie Taylor Greene started going after Mike Johnson, wanting him removed, making a big stink about it? Now, I don't think Mike Johnson's been perfect. I don't think you're going to find a perfect House Speaker, because they always have to compromise with Democrats. That's literally their job, to govern the country, and you have to have bipartisanship on many things, which is why things rarely get done. Now, unfortunately, he went bipartisan with people that were, they just had that continuing resolution, CR, that turned into an omnibus on its own, and it had a whole bunch of pork in it at the end of the year, and because of Trump saying you can't do that, it was killed. So people are upset with Mike Johnson for even considering it going through to begin with, and they should be. I agree with that. However, the reason why Trump told Marjorie Taylor Greene to cool her damn jets about Mike Johnson before the election was that the Republican Party, looking like chaos, is a political loser that doesn't win elections. It makes it look like the Republican parties are monkeys. To put it politely, the Republican Party looks like a monkey effing a football. It looks like they just don't know what they're doing. Can't govern is what they look like. And that's what they look like. As we look out to the mountains in the background. It's a really steep hill, covered in snow. So, MTG cooled their jets because Trump said we need to win. If I become president, I need the House. But I think the damage was already done, because the Republicans right now have probably the slimmest House majority that there has ever been, or close to it. We may even have a temporary stretch with a 0-person advantage because of people swapping around jobs, because Trump picked 2 or 3 people that are in Congress, and their seats are going to have to be filled, so temporarily they will be open. That's not a good way to start things, and I really think the Republicans won big across the country, and they got stagnant in the House. They didn't gain seats like they should have. We gained in the Senate, we won the White House, and we should have gained some seats. We gained some in New York State. We did a good job. So we should have had a bigger advantage, and I'm going to attribute it to disunity, chaos, and looking like the Republicans can't govern. So these guys have got to get on the same damn page, stop doing that stupidity, And we can start by not doing that on the internet. First of all, major points. Effing Elon Musk was not elected to anything. Okay? Vivek Ramaswamy was not elected to anything. They are appointed to do a job. They make no decisions. They're not going to decide what gets spent or not get spent or what policies get implemented. So there's really no point in even going down that whole entire thing. They have no power and no authority. Okay? All they have is a lot of money. So if you're worried about that, then you should be worried about Donald Trump being corrupt and being influenced by their money. We know that's ridiculous. So just stop it. We just won the biggest nationwide election in decades. In all areas. Locally too. City councils, mayors, governors, state legislatures, everything. There is a red movement in this country. So what are the Republican voters going to do, like MAGA? They're going to do what Republicans have done in the past. They are going to snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory. Right? They're going to go ruin everything because everything has to be doom and gloom. This is a perfect example of what happens when the dog has been chasing the neighbor's car for 10 years. And then the dog finally catches the car. The dog doesn't know what to do. Wow, I caught the car. My whole fun and excitement was never being able to catch the car. So this is what the Republicans are doing right now. We finally won, big. We kicked the Democrats' ass in all areas, major league ass kicking. And we can't handle the success, is what it looks like. So we have to find a way to ruin it so we can be in a comfortable place that we're always used to, which is fighting uphill. It's the stupidest, dumbest mindset I have ever seen. And I'm really ashamed of a lot of Republicans today. Thankfully, the ones elected to office are still on board. It's not where the issue is. But we're talking about people that want to primary people, cause problems locally. And we can't do that. And Republicans have to stop doing what they've been doing. And, you know, with Democrats get up and publicly soapbox to raise money, okay? They all do it. Difference is, Democrats get on a soapbox to raise money by trashing Republicans, you know, the enemy. Republicans soapbox and raise money. They're not trashing the Democrats. They're trashing other Republicans. So that's the difference. Stop doing that. You're shooting yourselves in the feet, stupidly. What you should do is go into a room, close the door behind you, and then scream at whoever you got to scream at. Stop airing your dirty laundry in public. You're doing tremendous harm to the win that Trump just got. The Democrats are low. They're in the toilet. They're the lowest they have been in decades. Their party is in danger of being lost, basically. Now you're going to have this younger generation fight the establishment, and they're going to have their infighting. But I guarantee you, they're not going to be airing it out in public. That's the point I'm making. It does no good. It accomplishes nothing. It's detrimental to what you want to do. It takes away from Trump's win. And it gives fuel to the left. They just had their ass kicked. Okay, so why would you want to do that? I saw Kyle Griffin, MSNBC, a hopeless far-left extremist. He's all giddy. Ooh, we're finally separating Elon from Trump and MAGA. This is what they want, and we're giving it to them like idiots. Okay? Just stop it. Stop. You realize how fucking dumb that is? All this hard work we did, the trials, the impeachments, the All the fucking bullshit we've gone through, Ukraine's fucking exploding, everything's going to shit, and your biggest fucking concern is the H-1B fucking visas that are temporary that we have to have anyway? Are you fucking mental? Jeez, fucking wake up. Get your head out of your ass. We just won a huge win. We need to enjoy it. Savor it. 3 fucking weeks. Trump's going to be sworn in. It's going to be great. So, I guess that's all I have to say about that. But geez, you know, it had to be said. I wish it didn't have to. You know, I'd like to be able to go on this walk and talk about all the great things coming up, and which I can still do that. I guess I will. So anyway, the other thing I want to talk about is this friggin' bird flu. Only in a post-2020 pandemic dystopian nightmare era would we ever be trying to push vaccinating against a bird flu that has not yet mutated to be dangerous to humans, but could be, possibly, because people that are milking fucking cows got sick with mild symptoms. Mild symptoms. They had respiratory issues. They had some phlegm, a runny nose. They had a fucking cold. They're describing a fucking cold, okay? That's all they had was a fucking cold. I don't care if it came from a fucking bird through a cow's ass, okay? It's just a cold. So what are they doing? They're pushing vaccines. They're pushing vaccines to treat it, okay? The World Health Organization, our wonderful COVID friends who forced everybody to get vaccinated, wear masks, and live in a plastic bubble under threat of arrest in some places, are trying to tell us, as we got a steep hill here with loose snow, I gotta be careful. They're trying to tell us that we should get vaccinated for a bird flu that is not yet dangerous, that may make you sick if you milk a fucking cow. You heard that right. If you're around cow fluids, you could get sick from this, but they want everybody to vaccinate for this bird flu. It's more fear-mongering, and what have I told you on these walks many times? Big Pharma owns the TV networks, they own the politicians, and they own our 3-letter agencies through lobbying. Billions of dollars they spend because they make billions of dollars. They make so much money that they don't mind paying $3 billion in damages for a product that injures people and they lose the lawsuits. That's part of their operating cost. They already know that's going to happen before they even put it on the market. So, they're selling vaccines. The other factor is, Trump is going to be sworn in 3 weeks. And don't be surprised if they try to push a new pandemic. And I don't think Trump is going to fall for that one. You'd better not. So those are just some things I want to talk about today, but you know, it just seems very insane to me that the news reporting on this even says it towards the end of their propaganda, after they've already did their vaccine push. It has yet to be seen to cause problems in humans or being transferable from human to human. But you should go out and get this vaccine anyway, because possibly, maybe, it will mutate into a bad virus. At this point, if you've gone through 2020 and you're still falling for this stupid fucking propaganda bullshit, then you fucking deserve what happens. That's all I'm saying. So, anyway. These are just a couple of things annoying me as I'm doing baby steps on this steep hill that's covered in wet snow, on leaves, which could be slippery. Thankfully, I don't have ice to deal with. So that is a plus. But I do have to watch where I'm going. So I hope you're enjoying the walk today. little excited. I am very excited that Trump's going to be sworn in 3 weeks. I am so freaking happy and excited. I've also been checking out the layout that they're going to use that's been made publicly for the crowds at the inauguration. I'd like to find out the weather and how much it costs for a train from Brunswick to go down there. And but I'm probably not going to go. One of the main reasons is one I've explained to you many times. You're not allowed to carry a firearm in Washington, D.C. pretty much. And if you do, there's all kinds of hoops you have to jump through. I'm not a resident of the D.C., which isn't even a state. And I just really don't want to deal with going down there, not knowing what's going to happen, and not have any protection. Hate to say it, but I am thankful that Washington, D.C. has a large area where the inauguration will be that's blocked off by barriers, so you cannot drive a car through a crowd killing people. I'm very happy about that. Mainly those were put there to avoid things like that, and things like car bombs and terrorist attacks. And so let's face it, you got a lot of people that don't want Trump to be president. Granted, they're not as rabid as they were before, at least not yet. A lot of that far left extremism has kind of petered out. People realize that a lot of that is why they lost the election. Democrats they've not been pushing the vitriol. They have been pushing unity and bipartisanship. They have been talking about being more moderate, listening to voters, and not pushing things like transgender ideology and far left woke politics. So I said it many times on this walk, that's going to end up being a loser for Democrats, and what it's going to take is they're going to have to take a major election loss for it to happen. They need to get their asses kicked in November, I said, and that's what happened. So we're all going to get the fruits of that. And but I got a feeling Republicans and MAGA are going to figure it out this time through Trump's leadership. I think that's really where it's going to come from. The media has lost its teeth, and people know they don't have to partake in woke politics if they don't want to. They're not going to get canceled. They're not going to get fired from their job, because if they do, they'll be able to file a lawsuit and they'll win, because people have won. So the other good news I saw is about 50 J6 people that were tried and convicted and did their time. 50 of them have filed a lawsuit against the DOJ for wrongful prosecution. The Supreme Court ruled that one of the things they used to prosecute them with was unconstitutional. So they're going to win that lawsuit. The Department of Justice and government is going to have to pay $50 billion in damages. I don't know if they'll be awarded that in a DC court, but they certainly have a case, civil case. Absolutely, because the Supreme Court did rule it unconstitutional, that one of the rules and laws they used was abused. It was designed to be used after the Enron scandal, and they twisted that into something they could prosecute J6ers with. It's called lawfare. They just made it up as they went, made it happen with judges willing to go along with it, and they found juries of people that are far left that hate Trump, and that's all you need. That's what we saw in New York. This is a very steep hill. I gotta be careful here. So, I knew this would turn into an interesting talk today, because there's a lot of stuff to talk about. But the simple fact of the matter is, there were some people that violated the law on J6 that were violent. I don't want those people pardoned, but I do want their sentences looked at. If you picked up a barrier in DC and threw it at a police officer and hit him with it, that's assault. That is a crime. Assaulting a police officer is a crime. So whatever the penalty for that is fair. So what I'm saying is, a lot of these people got excessive penalties because it was political. And a lot of these people stayed locked up past longer than they should have been, being denied due process for politics, because they needed these people languishing in jail until they could do their J6 committee. Because how would it look when they do a J6 committee if everybody that was in jail just paid a fine and were back living their lives? You need to have people, little pawns and trophies to use at the J6 committee, which is what they did. Then they blamed it on a backlog of cases, which turns out that wasn't accurate. So basically, they were doing this on purpose for optics. So I hope they get their asses sued, and I hope these people that were sentenced under domestic terrorism laws remove that from their sentence and then let it be whatever it is for assaulting a police officer. You get what I'm saying? So instead of having 20, 30, 40 years, maybe it should have been 10. See what I mean? So I think a lot of these cases need to be reviewed and fixed. And if nobody wants to do it, then maybe Trump should just pardon them. Because if they're not going to get fair justice, then they should just be released. And if DOJ is really concerned, you know, we're going to have a new head of Department of Justice. A.G. Garland's going to be gone. Trump is going to be cleaning house. So there's still a lot of story to be told here with this stuff, and we're going to witness it all. I think a lot of people in DC are realizing that Trump has his shit together this time, and shit's going to happen. So a lot of people are lawyering up, and a lot of people are getting prepared to lose their job. Now, what happens when you back people into the corner who've been working for the government for 20 years and they're looking forward to their nice fat pension? They don't even show up for work half the time. They get a nice, easy, comfortable $250,000 pay a year or more for doing nothing other than signing a few papers and telling people to do this, that, or the other thing. And now they might be losing their job. What would you do? Well, you would do your best to sabotage Trump even more, which is what I think is going to happen. So we'll see what happens with that. But Trump is going to sign executive orders making leaking highly more punishable, as well as making it punishable to be subversive against your administrative head. You have to remember that the President of the United States is the chief administrative head. So, for the administrative branch. So when the administrative branch is ignoring leadership and doing what they want, that has to be taken care of. And that's what we have been seeing. So we'll see what happens in the coming months. Hello. How are you?
Awesome.
So we will see what happens coming up for 2025. We've got New Year's coming up. It's going to be nice, I think. A lot of people are going to want a fresh start, myself included. And every year I make some kind of personal New Year resolution. It's never anything that one of the last ones I made many years ago was I was no longer going to be politically correct. That's when it was called being politically correct. Many years ago, I said I was going to stop. I wasn't going to partake in that. And I would speak my mind basically like Trump does. This was before Trump came along in politics. So that was one of my big New Year resolutions that I stuck to. A lot of people want to come up with things like I'm going to lose weight, or I'm going to quit smoking, or I don't do anything that dramatic. But coming up with something like I just said, for new ways of doing things. So I don't know what this year's New Year's resolution is going to be for me personally, but we'll see. So right now we're going to take a walk down this way. Hope you're enjoying the walk today. I'm having a lot of fun. I wanted to come out here and walk in the warmer weather. We certainly have that. It's very nice. Probably about 45 degrees. I got a good sweat going right now, which is nice. It's not windy, it's dead calm. And I'm going to walk down this way. So again, I hope everybody is having a beautiful, beautiful holiday season. And, you know, you have to remember, there's some places like Germany where the people are being oppressed so badly. I mean, it's bad, okay? It's starting to rain right now. I knew it was going to rain. I thought it would be later. It's going to be like periodic showers, I think. But if I get wet today, it's 45 degrees. Who cares? So anyway, Germany, you know, they have these hate speech laws, and they punish you for speaking out against migrants. They have a migrant problem there worse than we do. And the people there are getting very upset. And we just saw that car drive through a crowd of people and killed many people, wounded many others, maimed them, horrible injuries. A lot of times when somebody hits a crowd driving that fast, people lose limbs. Some get decapitated just from the inertia, from the impact. Their head gets separated from their body. Very terrible injuries. And people are very upset about it. And they actually gathered in protest, but they remained peaceful because they have to. Anybody that does any violence there, they're going to get prosecuted for domestic terrorism type stuff, and they'll get 20, 30 years in jail. It's really horrible. But they're going to have to do what they got to do. And they will. They have elections coming up at some point, I believe. And this was a big boost for the Conservative Party in Germany. And the unfortunate thing about Europe, many of the conservative parties in Europe throughout various countries really are moderates. They're very weak conservatives. They're not truly conservative, you know. So what Europe fears, not the people, the establishment, they fear populism. They saw populism win in Denmark, and they're afraid of it. And they should be. But they don't seem to understand that they're fostering it by punishing the people for having free speech, by stealing it from them, by sending them to jail for posting stuff on Facebook. These people don't understand why people like Milei in Argentina, Trump in America, and what's his name? Forget his name, sorry. He kind of looks like Jimmy Page, the one in Denmark. So these people are being elected because if you can't control the people, they're going to rebel. And they're trying to instill fascism in Europe under the guise of democracy. Kind of like they tried to do here. They tried to get X closed because we had free speech. They went on a big thing where these big corporate sponsors pull their money, advertising money off of X, trying to bankrupt Elon Musk and X. because they didn't want Trump to have a voice, because Trump represents what he's about to do, because he won. They didn't want him to win, and he won. So this is a bigger fight than most people understand or know about, and we need to be vigilant in that, and we need to really just focus on it and stay together, unified, I guess is my message today, which is why I was bitching about Republicans. We need to stop that. It's great to think independently, but don't stand on a soapbox and give the far left ammunition. Just stop doing that. It's dumb. It's an unforced error. It's not a smart thing to do. So anyway, it's raining pretty good right now. I'm going to pause this and come right back. All right, we're back. We had a pause in the action. So I'm going to walk down this way. Looks like ski poles have been through here. Snowshoes, it looks like. Yep, we've had snowshoes through here. I don't really think we had enough snow to use snowshoes. I'm doing just fine with boots. We only had about 4 inches of snow, and some of it's melted. Really wasn't a big deal. So we're going to come through this clearing. Hope you're enjoying this. Come up on the bridge. Across the bridge. Goes over a mighty river. Goes off into the woods there somewhere. Well, I'm going to cross this field. Isn't this cool? I really like this. You see a lot of things on, you watch shows like any show that has outdoors and wilderness. And here we are. All we have missing is a few buffalo roaming through or something. So I am thankful to be walking today in 45-degree weather, even though it's raining. And typically, right now, end of December, beginning of January, we have a high temperature of 15 degrees to 20 degrees. That's typically normal. Below zero at night. So I'm very happy about this, obviously. And no, when it's that cold, I do not go out and walk in it. I might be crazy, but I'm not effing crazy. So this kind of looks like something you'd see in Yellowstone. A wheat field or something. I'll come up this way. And I'm just doing this for exercise. So I was watching footage of, I had mentioned it on my previous walk, North Koreans on the ground in Kursk Oblast in Russia. So in Russian territory, so we see some small deer track Oh, very small deer. It's like a baby deer. So anyway, I was watching these North Korean army soldiers in a landscape just like this. It looked just like this. We had snow on the ground, trees, and up there in the sky were the dreaded modern warfare drones. Hunters. You had people sitting at a command post in the back there somewhere, flying these drones with cameras, and they can see and sense where people are, and many of these drones have bombs attached to them. And you're just standing here minding your own business, and then you look up and you can hear it, and there's a drone. Well, the thing is, if you're standing here and you see that drone, it's probably already too late. Even if it's not coming at you, it'll hover around watching you, it'll go over your head, it'll drop a couple bombs on you that they have practiced, and you have to be rather artful to get away from them. And then the drone actually becomes a bomb itself. They will actually fly the drone right into you, and it explodes, kills you. So, crazy stuff. I was watching this video. So we got rain on the lens here. Sorry about that. So I was watching this video, and these drones, they were just coming in, killing all these North Korean soldiers. And I can tell that the North Korean soldiers were not trained for that, and I felt bad for them watching this video. To me, it looked like the North Koreans were fighting the kind of war you would have in the 70s. I don't think they trained for modern warfare very well. I'm not an expert on it, but from the video I watched, pretty much their defense looked like a citizen going, wow, look, a drone, wow, hey, look at that, look. They're doing this kind of thing, you know, looking at their buddy, hey, look at that. And then while they do that, the drone comes in and kills both of them. It's like they were clueless. So, and a lot of those North Korean soldiers look small, they look skinny, and it's been rumored that they're malnourished. A lot of them have diseases from stuff that they ingest. They're not very well taken care of. I don't know how true that is through the entire North Korean military, but I do know that these poor suckers were just that. Suckers to be sacrificed for Russia, basically. They look like very easy targets, and I felt really badly. I watched about a 40-minute video of battle footage. A lot of these North Koreans in a field at night, just being lit up. I mean, just lit up. Completely desolate. You could actually see bodies getting blown apart. Horrible. Warfare ain't like it used to be. Not even the least bit. So the big thing is technology, drones, and technology, basically. Sensors and night vision and heat sensing and all the stuff you really don't want to deal with being human flesh and bones out in the woods like this, where your only defense is to dive behind a tree when a drone hits it and blows up and hope it doesn't kill you. It's not good. There's been a lot of loss of life in this one compared to people losing limbs. Typically what would happen is you'd have people get killed, and you'd have a lot of people that lost limbs. This war, it seems like, if it gets you, you get killed. So that's what it's starting to look like. And nasty business. That war in Ukraine needs to end, and I think it will be. I think Putin's going to try to get tough with Trump, and Trump's just going to make sense to him. And Putin knows that this war needs to end. And Trump needs to sit down with him and say, look, I know NATO is doing the propaganda, and they're making it sound like you're going to invade Europe. You and I both know that's not going to happen. You know, you got your hands filled just with Ukraine. And the rest of the world's not going to let you do it anyway, even if you wanted to. So we should just bring this to an end. You know, maybe start doing some energy and oil business with Russia. Maybe some kind of other commerce, wheat, textiles. You know, throw Russia a bone, a humanitarian one. You know, you want to export some of your clothes that's made, and you know, maybe some wheat, food. The world's food markets could use an influx of supply. Between Ukraine and Russia, most of the world's wheat comes from there. Seriously. I mean, we could do that in the United States and Canada. We do to some extent, but not like we really could. So, alright, I'm going to go up through here, visit my rocks. And now the benefits of seeing all these tracks in the snow is now I can see where the trail goes, where people have used it, or animals. Like right here, we have deer track, a lot of them. So this looks like a regular deer trail. The deer tracks go up here, so do the snowshoes. So we'll see what the snowshoes are going here. We'll get deer track going that way. No humans, just deer. But we have snowshoe tracks mixed with deer track here. So the snowshoes go down this way. Let's see how far this goes. So if somebody came this far with snowshoes and ski poles, then most certainly this is going to go somewhere. So come down here first. Deer track going that way, over there, and over this way we have snowshoe tracks. So let's see where this goes. Thank you for coming on an adventure with me. Make sure I don't get my foot caught in between two logs and I twist my ankle and sprain it. That would be a horrible walk back out of here by myself. So deer track comes down here, and it looks like these snowshoe tracks have stopped. Plenty of deer track though. So this area here, if you don't know, I could follow the deer trail. The deer know where to go. But a lot of this through here is swampy and marshy. And it looks like we got a holly bush right here with all these red berries of some sort. I don't know the exact species. I am not a plant horticulturalist. But I do know that the deer would know the right way to go for things like food and water. So I just wanted to see what was here, all the way down here, and then we'll backtrack. We'll head back. I see some deer urine. So this is a very regular deer route. See right here? That at the end of my foot is deer poop. Deer poops. Some more. Don't say I never gave you anything. You haven't lived until somebody has gifted you deer poop. let's get up this hill here without slipping, pulling your groin muscle. This is where you dig your feet in sideways at an angle, so your edge of your cleat hooks in, and you kind of sidewalk up the incline. That's the easiest way. And then you straighten out. So you people not used to walking on snow, that's a helpful hint for you if you want it. So we have trees tagged in orange this way, so that's part of a trail. And I can see some orange out in the woods there, so that trail meanders up this way. I don't know where that goes. I'm not interested in going that way. Clean the lens off here. So let's go down this way. Ooh. We'll head back now. Finish up our walk. Having a good walk today. Last time we came up through this way, actually, we saw a black, dark gray, almost black deer. I don't know if you remember that. I watched the footage after I got home and it really didn't show up. I saw it with the naked eye through the trees though. So there's a lot you see with the naked eye that you don't see here. Now there's a trail that goes off this way, but it's not really a trail, but it's all full of deer track. So you really get an idea how much deer go through here. Right on through that way. Well, it's kind of interesting. I knew deer came through here, but I didn't realize that many. And we get deer track here. Some of these are missed. Like that right there, that doesn't look like deer track. It's probably turkeys. Wild turkeys have been through there. But these are clearly defined hooves. You can see the hoof shape. So somebody was hoofing it through here. %, of my battery. I'll have to change it at some point. And we get this one tree here that has refused to lose its leaves. Well, there's a few of them. I don't know what species that is, but it didn't want to quit. Let's come down this way. You can see my footprints from when I just came through here. We'll go back across that field. So this is the same kind of look and terrain that these videos I've been seeing out of Russia and Ukraine. Snow in the forest. And if you look at a spherical map of the world, what I mean by that is most of the time, oh, that's a nice view. Most of the time when you see a map of the world, it is flat, where they peel the globe and then they unfold it flat, so everything isn't on top, it's off to the right, if you know what I mean. So when you look at an actual globe from the top, you will actually see the Arctic circumference, and you will see Denmark, Finland, all that. Then you'll see Maine, Canada, and parts of Russia. So we're all in a symbiotic circle weather-wise. Of course, northern Russia gets much colder than it does here, just like northern Canada does. But I'm in the lower, just under the Arctic line, okay? So a lot of times we'll get an Arctic dip and we'll be below zero at night. Some places in Canada get down to minus 60, minus 70. Coldest I've ever been is minus 19, minus 20. But that's cold, you know, no arguing that. But I'm just saying it's worse in other places, but similar environments. Today feels damn nice, 45 degrees. Rain let up a little bit. It's still raining, it's pretty steady. It's like a drizzle. So this will make for a nice walk. I don't mind walking in rain and drizzle when it's not cold and not windy. And we've certainly had a lot of interesting discussion today, I thought. And it's always a longer walk in the woods. It's one of those things where it takes longer to walk a shorter distance, and you actually expend a lot more energy than walking in the city. So, like right now, I'm walking on this soft snow, and it feels like walking on sand, sort of. Every time you push off, your foot slips behind you, and it just makes more of an effort to walk. It won't show up on my app, though. Google Fit is not going to give me the heart points I want, even though I'm working harder. So that's something Google Fit should work on. So anyway, I am happy to be out here walking with you. I did want to come out here this winter and shoot video, so we're doing it. So I really hope to God on the inauguration coming up that people will be respectful. President Trump will be sworn in. There won't be any rioting or shenanigans. 2017, stores got smashed, things set on fire. I think you're probably going to see a little bit of that because they can't help themselves. And they're all going to be people dressed in black with their faces covered. And they're going to be running around like a gang of hooligans because they organized ahead of time to do that. And they're going to be flipping over trash cans, setting dumpsters on fire. Last time it was a limousine that got burned. Mayor of DC doesn't do anything about it. They let him do it. The police had stand down orders. So this lost for the Democrats. People are tired of the crime and the shenanigans like that, so we'll see if the Democrats do anything about it this time, or if there is even any rioting at all. There is definitely a different attitude right now with Trump nationwide. Hollywood hasn't been as hateful and vitriolic because I think they realized they elected him by doing that. The American public didn't buy it, and you just look like an idiot doing it, because you are. And people that do that hate our country. We didn't do that crap with Biden, and we knew Biden was going to be horrible, and he was. We didn't go out rioting when he was doing the stupid crap he was doing. So We have to have some sanity, you know? Enough of this crap. So we'll see what happens. I'd like to be, you know, normal and say, yeah, we'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They're not going to riot, but I just think it's too tempting. But you are seeing a major corporate shift. And that's big because the corporate America is tired of woke. They're tired of the politics. Trump wants to make money. Corporations want to make money. And corporations fund many of these far left groups that riot and protest. So if that money dries up, you're not going to see any. We already saw Daniel Penny rightfully being found innocent on both charges they tried to stick on him for the subway self-defense killing, which I need to remind people, killing in self-defense is legal in all 50 states, even the crazy blue ones. And so Daniel Penny was found innocent, and Black Lives Matter promised. They held a big press conference with the victim's father, with the victim in this case was actually the people on the subway and Daniel Penny himself. But anyway, the Black Lives Matter point of view is victim, which was the black guy that was choked to death, unfortunately, and it was unintentional. But he was acting the fool. So they swore that, the dad swore that they would file a lawsuit, a civil one, against Daniel Penny, who doesn't have any money to pay it anyway. And they were going to riot. Black Lives Matter promised that this was an outrage. Another black man murdered, and there would be nationwide riots, he said. Never happened. So that stuff has all lost its zip, okay? It's run its course. It has done nothing but cause the Democrats to lose. And they're just not going to get the funding to do that. Now, that's not to say the Democrats are nice guys and they just decided, well, we'll stop. It's not right. It was no longer politically advantageous. They'll do anything to win. They'll sacrifice their own mothers to have power. They are the true Sith Lords of the universe. So we might not see any rioting at all. Wouldn't that be crazy? Things might actually be going back to normal. I think a lot of people want normal again. And they're not buying the media narrative that Donald Trump is all about chaos and all of our problems are because of him. That's obviously not the case, and people have figured it out. And people now know it's okay to speak out against woke politics. It's okay to speak out against men playing on women's teams without fear of losing their job or being canceled. So the jig is up. The left has lost. They've lost. They've lost their tools. They've lost their methods. This is all good. So we can't help them out. We can't help them out by infighting. We've got to stop that. All right, so I'm going to flip this around and walk out the rest of the way. Let's see how many miles we got on here. I got 3 miles. I feel like I walked 5. No joke. It really is a very big difference walking in this stuff. 6% of the battery. I'm going to go ahead and change the battery right now. I'll be right back. All right, fresh battery. So, what else can we talk about? How about these friggin' drones? These drones have disappeared out of the news. They're gone. Official intel agencies and the FBI say there's nothing to them, and we're just supposed to believe what we saw with our own eyes, and not believe it, I mean. So I don't know what the deal is with that yet. I'm still trying to figure that out. But they're not reporting on it anymore. I'm not seeing any chatter online either. So just like that, it's gone. Isn't that the weirdest thing? Absolute weirdest thing. Could that many people have really been seeing what they're not really seeing? Everybody was wrong. I will say about 2/3 of the drone reports video that I saw were not drones. They weren't fakes. They weren't real. They were either fakes or something else. I saw one where somebody claimed it was a drone, and you could see what looked like lasers being shot out of it, which were actually tracer rounds. And the National Guard in New Jersey was training. It's older footage from months ago that somebody recycled as being drones. So there was a lot of misinformation about them, and I told you about those on the walks. But some of those were valid. Still no explanation that satisfies me anyway. Very strange. So my younger brother is working in Nanuet, New York, which is around White Plains, not far from New Jersey and New York City. So he's gonna keep an eye out. Haven't heard anything yet. He said he'd be watching for drones. So we have an eye on the scene. Haven't heard anything yet. So here's my first bit of ice. This was water, frozen. Now that right there, I can tell it's frozen all the way down through because I can actually physically see three-dimensionally air bubbles trapped in there way down. So that's safe to walk on. Not that it was deep anyways, but that's one of those things you get used to. We used to go play ice hockey out on the lake, or lakes, plural. And if you've ever been on a lake ice skating, it's one of the best experiences you can have. You can skate for miles on beautiful flat ice, usually at the beginning of the year anyway. Later in the year you get snow on it and you can't do that, but early in the season, for somebody that weighs about 200 to 250, you need at least 3, maybe 4 inches of ice thickness for it to support your weight, which isn't a guarantee, but for the most part, whenever you go out on these things, I have been out where you look at the ice and you will see thermal kind of stress cracks in the ice, and you can physically see that the cracks are 18 to 2 feet thick. That is very, very safe to walk on. You can drive a truck on that, cars. You can park on that and go ice fishing, which people do. But every year they try to go out there, like right now it's warming up. We did have a cold snap. There is safe ice on the lake right now, but we're going to be warm for 4 or 5 days, and that ice is going to start to melt. And every year there's some guy in a pickup truck or somebody on a snowmobile is going to fall through the ice, and they're either going to drown and die or they won't. But every year there's at least one. So out of the hundreds or thousands of people that go out on the ice, you'll have one, maybe two that drown. So realistically, it's pretty safe if you know what you're doing, what to look for. But that's the thing I've always used, is the ice. You can see air bubbles trapped in it, and you can see how deep the ice is that way. Now, without air bubbles, you can't tell how thick it is. Sometimes the ice is so crystal clear, you really can't tell how thick it is. But I have seen times where the ice is 3 feet thick and you can't see all the way down 3 feet. So it looks like you're walking on water. There's nothing in the ice to tell you that it's frozen. There's no air bubbles, nothing. It's really cool. Anyway. I'm just mentioning that for people that may be watching, never been out on a frozen lake or pond. They don't know about that stuff. They see pictures of people out there with a truck fishing, say, oh my God, that looks dangerous. I wouldn't do that. Well, it's quite safe. It's very safe. And places like Sabattis Lake, you'll actually see on the surface of the water, let's say this rock wall right here, we'll use that for an example. You'll have a sheet of ice over there, and you'll have a sheet of ice over here that had a thermal crack. And because of weather, wind, whatever, one side will be forcing itself against the other side, making an ice wall, kind of like this, where you'll see one side or the other go up kind of like a ramp, straight up in the air, while the other side is pushing against it, if that makes sense. And so it's just like the tectonic plates on the earth, where you get earthquakes and fault lines. You'll actually get that out on the lake with two extremely heavy ice masses weighing several tons each, pushing against each other on the surface of the water. And it's quite interesting. Well, I've actually crossed over those before when ice skating across a lake, but it's really nice. You have a bright sunny day, 25 degrees, you're dressed for the cold, and you just skate out across the lake wherever you want to go for miles. You can skate around the whole perimeter of the lake. You can go straight across it. You can do whatever you want to. So it's always good to play hockey with people on a lake that know how to pass. Because if they give you a bad pass and it's out of your reach, that puck is going to keep going for a half mile. So be ready to lose some hockey pucks. And another piece of information, if you need it, is if you've ever watched ice hockey, you'll see a puck hit somebody in the face and it cuts them right open easily. And, you know, you have to understand it's vulcanized rubber. It's the same kind of rubber you get like in car tires, and it's vulcanized. So when it's warm, it's not really soft, but you could take like a screwdriver and stab a hockey puck and it'll make a dent in the top and you can make a cut in it. But when it's frozen, a hockey puck is hard like marble. And the best hockey pucks are always the hardest ones. They lay flatter without skipping around when you're playing hockey. And we'll go up this way. Wow, I'm getting a damn good workout today. So that's why, you know, like when I was younger, because I had a really good 100-mile-an-hour slap shot or so, that they were ice hockey rinks where I broke panes of glass on the rink, or I would take a slap shot and it would hit the post and other people on the ice would turn around and go, wow, man, that was awesome. So that always made me feel good. And so had a lot of fun playing ice hockey. And now we play other things, like going for walks and going shooting. Things you do when you get older that you enjoy. That's why a lot of older people go play golf. See that fog up ahead here? Obviously affects visibility for long distance. Low-lying clouds. The air is mild. There's no wind. And there's humidity in the air because this warmer air is coming up from down south. .45, it's going to warm up. Probably it feels more like 47 right now, to be honest with you. I'm very warm. And what happens is you have, that's called ice fog. And so you have cold snow with moist, warm air on top. And it makes steam, kind of like when you have a cold glass and the moisture collects on your glass, which does not happen here in the wintertime. The air is desert dry here in the winter, except for days like today. So your glass of nice cold lemonade doesn't sweat here this time of year. Usually, it would today. So a lot of times the dew point temperature here in the wintertime is 10 degrees, which is about the same as you get in dry Arizona desert. So, very dry and humid. You end up with cracked lips and things dry out. Also makes it more difficult to stay warm even when you have the heat on. You can have the heat on 68, 69 degrees and you'll still feel chilly because there's no moisture in the air. And I know a lot of people out in Arizona, like my cousin who lives out there. Oh, it's so hot. It's 9,500 degrees. Well, 9,500 degrees down south is a lot worse than 100 degrees in Arizona. Arizonans don't want to hear it, but it's true. And anybody watching this that lives down south knows what I'm talking about. So, give you an idea what that looks like. All right, now I'm gonna walk my way out of here and we'll call it a day. It's one of those things where I like to walk at least 5 miles every day. And I feel like I've walked 5 already, and we're at 3.5 miles. That really is the difference, walking on this snow stuff, plus walking in the woods. I literally feel like I've done a 5 or 6 mile walk. So I may not feel guilty today ending the walk at 4 miles instead of 5. but I'm not going to like seeing it listed in my app. You get what I'm saying? I'm going to see a 4 point something, and it's going to feel like I did something wrong. Lens off here. So I could go that way. I'm going to go this way on the yellow. I think this is the yellow trail, if I remember right. It's either yellow or orange. It's orange. That's right. It does branch off to a yellow. Yellow goes... part of the orange, and then the orange goes to the yellow, and then that splits into the white and red. You'd think I'd have all this memorized by now. Starting to get hungry, so I know I'm expending energy. I had some rice. I had some mixed veggies. I had some fried onions, and I had a piece of beef, and I've already burned it up. I'm getting hungry. And I ate that before walking. So, I'm getting hungry again. Wonder if I'm going to run into that old guy there that thought I was crazy for voting for Trump, and he was spewing all of that propaganda the media said. That guy's got to be really disappointed, probably shocked. He seemed shocked that I said Trump was going to win. He honestly didn't believe that was going to happen. We had a lot of people that believed Trump cheated. They didn't want to come to grips with that Americans voted for Trump. And the media said Americans voted for Trump. So I guess they had to believe it because that's what they were told. Because they just believe whatever they're told anyway. And I will say the media currently has been slightly better. They're talking more about how Democrats need to fix what's wrong with the Democratic Party. They're not focusing so much on trashing Trump. They still slip in their usual talking points that they've worn out for the last 8 or 9 years. And I'm very happy I don't have to hear, the walls are closing in on Donald Trump. Donald Trump is circling the drain. So, very glad I don't have to hear that stupidity anymore. I don't know how so many people can be in a cult, a bubble, and just not see what's really going on, and then be absolutely shocked and astounded when Trump wins. When I've said it many times on this walks, that Trump's going to win. And I also said that I wasn't being a homer, and I said I didn't want to sound like that. I don't want to sound like that guy that says his team's always going to win when he knows the team's not good. But I knew he was going to win. The writing was on the wall. Terrible Democrat policies. Probably the worst Democratic Party candidate I've ever seen, and nobody voted for her. Everybody just disregarded that. It's still shocking to me. The DNC bypassed the democratic process of voters choosing their candidate, and they just expected everybody to be okay with it. Really stupid. They would have been better off leaving Joe Biden in there. And Joe Biden this week says that he would have beat Trump. Well, I disagree. Biden would have lost worse than Kamala did. Because it was clearly evident Biden was not physically capable or mentally capable. And it did come out that Biden's administration was running the White House and Biden was a puppet. Everything we said about Biden was true. He was corrupt. He enriched his family with Ukraine, deals with China. It's all true. And that son of a bitch went and pardoned Hunter Biden and pretty much anybody involved with that. And something needs to be done about that. They impeached Trump for investigating him and Hunter in Ukraine. They made Giuliani's life shit over that. They have ruined people's lives and tried to impeach them and usurp democracy. And we're supposed to just say, well, okay. He's old and he's coming out of office, who cares? No, people need to go to jail. People have to go to jail for that. I don't care who or how many or for how long, but somebody has to go to jail for that. It'd be real interesting to see what the Republicans pass for legislation, like they promised they would. And I know Trump wants it. This has to be fixed. Too much corruption in DC. It needs to stop. There's going to be a lot of tough things coming down the road to deal with. But I think we get some good people. I think we'll do some damage on it. And it'd be nice if some of these Democrat far left progressives with their heads up their asses would realize how big the problem is and stop making this about Trump and fix the fucking problem. America first, right? Oh, my selfie stick came apart. There we go. So anyway, America first. You should put your country first. Whether you're a Democrat, Independent, Republican, it shouldn't matter. We cannot have corruption in government. And when there is, you have to admit that there was and accept the blame for it and fix it. It's like I'm fixing my horrible selfie stick. I might have to get another one. This one's flopping around back and forth. So anyway, we'll fix it. We'll fix it. We'll get on it, damn it. We got this. So I think I'm gonna walk my way out of here now. My body's telling me I got enough exercise today. Normally, without snow on the ground, I'd walk another mile in here. But my body is telling me that I feel like I've walked 5 miles already because of the snow. So I'm gonna listen to it because I'll be walking again tomorrow. Not here, but I'll go for a city walk tomorrow and I'll do 6 miles tomorrow for sure. So I'm gonna play little games like that sometimes. It's just not gonna look good on my app. You know, I've been doing steep hills with snow, and it's kind of like one of those things where you could be walking up a hill that's on fire and you're choking on smoke, and it won't show up on the app. It'll just say you walked 3 miles and it'll feel like you walked through hell. So they don't have an app for that yet. But I can tell you, I think I've had enough today because I walked yesterday and I walked the day before. Well, actually, I had one day I didn't walk yesterday. Day before I did, and the day before that I did. And I'm going to be walking tomorrow. So, plus it's overcast. It's going to look like it's getting dark earlier than it is. So, I think we'll call this a wrap. We'll wrap it up. Like I said, if it was just a pathway with no snow, I would walk around in here for another mile, mile and a half to feel like I am now, but I know how I feel right now. I got a really good sweat going. My hip muscles are burning, which means I'm getting a good workout. And that's the whole point, is to get a good workout. So, we'll meander our way out of here. And I'll say my goodbyes. And I'll head home, take a nice hot shower, make a nice dinner. I haven't been to the grocery store yet, so I still have not bought any pasta that I have been craving for lately. Which I told you I really don't eat that much of it, which I don't. I think I had pasta over a month ago. Nice treat to have once in a while. May even get a pepperoni pizza instead. I haven't had a pepperoni pizza in probably 6 months, 8 months. All right, walk on down this way. Watch my step. There we go. Plus, you know, I'm wearing my hiking boots today. They're okay. They're okay to walk in. They're good for hiking. But I do not like to wear these walking on the streets. But because of the melting snow and ice, I have been. It's not very good sneaker weather right now. That's why it's important to get a comfortable pair of hiking boots. And again, these are Nortiv 8, they're called. Nortiv with the number 8. I've put many miles on these. They are just starting to unsew on the toe, on the toe leather. They're still doing their waterproofing job, more or less. They were never waterproof. They were water resistant to begin with. So if I stepped and submerged it in water, my feet would get wet eventually. But good boots for the money. You can get these for about 50 bucks. I bought these on eBay. Actually, I think somebody had a sale. I think I paid $36 for these. And they're still kicking. I've walked many miles with these. Alright, let's work our way down here. It's starting to get dark now. Weird weather. It'll be in the 50s tomorrow. I think I'll wear my light hoodie tomorrow with a long sleeve and a t-shirt. Might have to bring a rain parka tomorrow if it rains like I think it might. But we are going to have heavy rain tonight, overnight. And that's going to start in a few hours. We already saw some rain on this walk. It's raining right now. I'm still having mist, drizzle. All right. Work on down this way. Yeah, this is all soft, which is good. It'd be a lot easier to walk on if it was hard, but it would also have ice hidden in it. So, can't win for trying. And the other thing is when you're walking and you're constantly trying not to fall, you use up a lot more energy. Causes more fatigue. Because you can't do that nice stride. You have to do these little baby steps. So you're on the red trail. Got a red marking. Red is red. On firearms, red is dead. That means when you see red on the safety or orange, if you pull the trigger, it's going to fire. This looks like a sled track. Looks like. I was going to say it looks like a truck tire, but it doesn't have a matching one. That looks like somebody came up here with a toboggan. They might have been sledding on these trails. So you can see it right here. Yep. They might have had a couple of kids in a sled pulling it behind them. I think we've seen that here before. You haven't seen that on video, but I have seen it in the past before I was recording. So anyway, everybody, thank you for walking with me. I'll be signing off up ahead here. I almost fall and break my can on that slushy wet snow. I want to thank you very much for checking out my channel and walking with me. And God bless you and your family. Let me put this around. And God bless you and your family. Have a beautiful New Year's. And thank you very much for walking with me. Click like and subscribe. Share the content. And be safe and be happy and enjoy the Trump presidency. We did something historic, and we are going to have a really nice thing to enjoy. I think a lot of things are going to be different this time. That might be famous last words. I hope not. But anyway, thank you for watching, and God bless all of you. Bye bye, my friends, till the next walk. This has been Woods Walk Gun Talk number whatever it is. It might be number 40. 39 or 40, I'll find out when I upload it, and it will be marked on the title. So thanks again, and we'll see you soon, friends. Bye bye, everybody.